A lot of financial mistakes don't come from bad intentions, they come from last minute decisions. And if 2026 is the year you plan to help your kids financially, let's talk about how to think it through before the emotions and the deadlines kick in. Welcome to Retire Today. I'm your host, Jeremy Keil, and we're here to help you create your dream retirement. Today, we're talking about giving money to your kids. And I know we just talked about this in December, just a few months ago, but I think that's the problem. Just about everyone thinks about giving money to your kids in December. And I want to make sure you have plenty of time to think about your gifting in 2026 so that anything you do, even nothing, you do it with intention and you do it in a way that avoids tax and family problems. Now, this podcast, it's based on an article I wrote for Kiplinger recently. It's called Here's How to Give Your Kids Cash Gifts Without Triggering IRS Paperwork. So that's an article I wrote because that's basically what people are asking. Like, what's the maximum? What's the deal with the IRS rules? But I also did another podcast back in December. It's called Should You Give Your Money Away in Retirement? And that's what we're going to do today. We're kind of melding the two together in that let's get prepared for 2026, where most people approach giving in December wondering what's the max, uh, when in reality, perhaps they ought to be thinking, should I even give money away at all? And let's get these thoughts in mind before there's deadlines, before there's a rushed decision. So that's where we talk about it. Last episode, I'll put that in the show notes. It's basically, should you give money at all? And today's more like, well, here's how not to regret it. Here's how not to make a quick decision. And really, I mentioned it kind of just recently of the first question you should ask yourself when you're thinking of giving money to your kids is not how much can I give? Like, what's the limit? But really, it's what problem am I trying to solve? Why do I even want to give money away? Does giving money to my kids even help? We talked in the episode. Let's see if I can find it here. I've got it. There it is. I didn't have it in front of me. The Millionaire Next Door talks a lot about how the giving of money creates more dependence than support to kids in certain situations. So really, you've got the beginning of the year here. Think through why you want to give, and then you can think through how much you want to give away. I just got an email yesterday. This is why we're doing the article, doing the podcast. Email yesterday was, I want to give money to my kids this year. What's the max? Okay, well, the max for 2026 is 19,000 per year before you have to do any extra paperwork. But then also the question is why and what other effects are there for this couple. If they give $19,000 to each kid, 3 kids, we're talking close to 60 grand here, right? There's a 30% tax situation. And taking money from your traditional IRA, you hear me say 19,000 is the max. There's no taxes when you give money to your kids. Yes, you write the check. There's no taxes to anybody there. But taking the money out of your IRA, there absolutely is taxes. It's going to be close to 90 grand. I think it was about 85,000. You'd have to take out 85,000 from their traditional IRA just to give away 57,000. That's quite a lot of taxes. And the big question, that could be the way they want to go. But the question to ask themselves is not how much, but why do I want to give money away? What problem is this going to solve? So here's a framework I came up with when you're trying to help your kids. And you got the whole rest of the year to think about this, right? When you're trying to help your kids, what usually helps when you're giving money to them, it usually comes into 3 different buckets. I call it timing, relief, and experience. And timing, that's just about getting money to your kids earlier, right? A lot of people say you'd rather give with a warm hand than a cold hand, right? You'd rather see your kids enjoy the money. That's kind of the die with zero concept, that if you're going to end up with a whole bunch of money left over and it's just going to go to your kids anyways, they will enjoy it more. They will make better use of it when they're younger. When your kids are 35, they could probably use a little bit more money compared to when they're 55 and 65, which is the track that you're heading on for when they might inherit your money. So there's nothing wrong, I think, with the timing part of it, right? If it's going to happen and you do want to give money to your kids at the end, why not get it done earlier? Why not give them a better head start? Why not have yourself experience it a little bit more? So think of it. Am I giving my money away because it's a timing issue? That sounds reasonable to me. Now, another bucket is the relief issue. Is there some sort of thing going on where they just need a little bit of extra help? Like, do they want to go to, they're changing their career. They need some extra training, but the cost is a little bit too much. Will you paying for the education help out? Was there just some unfortunate health cost? I just maxed out my deductible last year. Thankfully, doing all right. I can certainly cover the deductible, thank goodness. But what if your kids have a big health situation and they can't cover that deductible? Deductibles are increasing a lot here. Or maybe there's a some sort of medical treatment that isn't covered by insurance and they certainly need it, but it's not covered by insurance. And you giving them the money to help them with that medical, that health situation could be a big help to them. Maybe, they're in a bad situation in their marriage and they just need to get out of there, right? Maybe there's things going on where just a change of venue can help out. Maybe that's a way that you can help them. Trying to find a way to say, okay, there's a stressful situation and money can come in to help out. That's a way to relieve your kids of that situation without hopefully creating the dependence that's on there. Right? And the third category, this is the one I see the most. This is definitely the one I see the most. The experience category, where you want to take your kids, you want to take your grandkids on a big trip. It might be Disney, might be a cruise, might be you get two cabins on the lake up north, or you get the big house that has 8 rooms on there, so you can bring everybody together. You're trying to create an experience with that on there. And so here's what I'm trying to get to. I suppose the timing is like, we're just giving you the money, right? We're giving you the money earlier because it's better for you. It's more enjoyable for us. That's kind of just a cash situation. But think of the relief. Think of the experience. It's not about I'm giving you money just because, but it's I'm giving you money on purpose to either take away some problems or create some extra family time. So there you go. The timing, the relief, the experience. When you're trying to give away money, what's the reason behind it? Those are the 3 that I see most often. Now, 2026, here's an interesting thing too, because you generally just give cash. And at the beginning of the year here in 2026, the market's near all-time highs. And so cashing in appreciated investments, that could be a good way to go. That could be a good way to go. Just remember that if you're the one that cashes in that stock in your brokerage account, you're the one paying the taxes on it. That if you're the one taking the traditional IRA out, the money from the traditional IRA out, that's a separate thing than the transaction of giving the money to your kids. Taking the money out of your traditional IRA is a taxable situation. And yes, you ought to know the tax rules. I wouldn't focus on the tax rules. That's not the only reason you're giving away money, but do know it's called the annual exclusion. You can give anybody $19,000 per year without reporting it to anybody at all. So when you think through the timing of how much you want to give early, when you think through how will this relieve my kids of a financial burden, how will this create an extra experience? Keep in mind that's $19,000 per person before you have to do the extra paperwork. And when you do that, here's an extra thing I'm encouraging you to do. When you hand the check over, when you have that extra family experience, give a little bit of time. You've thought through now why you're giving them the money. I have an idea is maybe share that, share the why behind your decision. They will then know, okay, what does this money actually mean? And I think that's what you're looking for more. You're looking for giving the meaning through the money. You're not necessarily giving just the money. You're trying to transfer the meaning, and money just happens to be the way that you're doing that. Now, if 2026 is the year you're thinking about actually giving money to your kids financially, remember the goal is not to try to get perfect. The goal is not to maximize the tax situation. It's the intention behind that. Why are you giving money to your kids? That's why I want you to start thinking about it early, not waiting until December to think about what is your 2026 gifting strategy. Of course, this is just one part of your overall picture. If you want help coordinating your gifting decision, but along with your retirement income, your tax planning, your long-term insurance and estate plans, head on over to 5stepretirementplan.com. Thank you for listening to the Retire Today podcast. We believe if you know more about your money, you will feel better about your money and you will make better money decisions. Hi, I'm Keil. If you'd like to learn how my team can help you get more income, pay less in taxes, and avoid big retirement mistakes, head on over to keilfp.com. That's KEILFP.com.